Hi Flosstube, it's Arlene here. It's Friday, October 20th, and this is another case of a different kind of video from me. So, as I'm recording this tonight, Friday, October 20th, it's 1 week from tonight. There will be a bunch of stitchers, floss tubers, getting together at a Minnesota retreat. And it was exactly 2 weeks ago tonight that a bunch of floss tubers were gathering in Austin. And I don't know about a lot of you, but I know for me, it feels like the month of October has been an awful lot about the Flosstube community gathering together. And I know it's been a lucky group that has met each other in person. And there's an awful lot more of us that haven't had the opportunity to meet in person. But now that it's started, boy, is it something that's feeling awfully like we need to keep it going. So if you're like me and you've been watching some of the videos and seen some of the posts on Stitch Mania and on Instagram after the Austin retreat, there was an awful lot of use of the word of FOMO. FOMO being the fear of missing out. And I realized for myself that for every time I thought about this, yeah, I know the spirit of it. But this word fear wasn't quite what I was feeling. Because it wasn't about fear of what I was missing out. And it took until today for me to finally come up with it. Although nowhere near as catchy, and you can't pronounce it like FOMO, this is what I have. YKYMO. You know what that is? You know you're missing out. Because I knew I was. I was seeing pictures and I was seeing video of people on my screens that had previously only been on separate screens. And now they were hugging and seeing one another and being in the same screen together. And I know especially 2 weeks ago, that weekend, when those things were popping up here and there from Austin, I was thinking, I want to know how I can be a part of this. I came into the Flosstube world well after that Austin retreat had already been planned, and just, I vaguely had heard about the Minnesota one. It wasn't doable in my life to be a part of it. But I need you all to know that I'm a planner, I'm an organizer, and when I get an idea in my head, I go with it. And the idea that evolved from that weekend was, I need to plan a Flosstube retreat. And if I can't get myself to places, I need to bring everybody to where I am. And I realize that where I am, or what I can offer and what I can give to this Flosstube community, could be something that could really be great for a lot of you. So here I am proposing to the Flosstube community a Flosstube retreat in New Jersey. One thing that came out from the Austin retreat, people commenting, when is the next gathering? Where is it going to be? And the one little thought that had been said was, what would make this even that much more perfect if it was there was a needlework store nearby. And that's what got me going. The LNS that I've referred to, Needleworker's Delight, is a great store. It is the home of the silk weaver fabric. And I know many of you refer to that. I had a video from the summer that shows the store, and many people have commented about how wonderful it is to see that, and it is a large store. And realizing that that could be a draw, I went on a Google map and put in search hotels nearby, see what I could find. And so this is what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. I've shared with just a few people about this idea, and here I am wanting to make it happen. So let me go through the details with you in this video and then let you know what to do next if you're interested. So what are we talking about? A Flosstube retreat in New Jersey. When I first proposed this, the hotel that I found which is exactly 0.8 miles. It's about 3/4 of a mile away from Needleworker's Delight. I basically said I'm looking for a weekend. I'm modeling this after the idea of the Austin retreat, a weekend retreat. And I said from March through May, what dates could work for the room size that I was looking at. They gave me a list of dates that would possibly work. I went to Needleworker's Delight. I don't remember if I've mentioned this before. Is owned by two guys, Kevin and Jim. And I know they do a lot of shows, particularly because of the silk weaver fabric in the springtime. And I took the list of dates from the hotel and said, of these weekends, what might work? When will you be in town? Because we would definitely want them involved in this, to have the store open Friday, Saturday, and they've even said it would be a pretty good chance to have it open on Sunday as well for us. Eliminate the obvious, like we're not doing this on Easter weekend or Memorial Day weekend. And it boils down to two possible dates. And so I wanted to put it out there to see if one date would have more interest over the other. So the two possible weekends, which are actually two very different weekends, are March 16th through the 18th, so the middle of March of 2018, so next year, or May 18th through the 20th, so the middle of May. So about 2 months apart, very different. Pros and cons to both of them. This part of the country, May, kids are still in school. It's still very much that. But I know down south, schools are out. Family lives are different. Anyway, I wanted to offer two possibilities. So March 16th through the 18th or May 18th through the 20th. For either weekend, we would have a room in a hotel for a general stitching room that would be available to us from 3 p.m. to midnight on Friday, from 6 a.m. to midnight on Saturday, and from 6 a.m. to noon on Sunday, with the potential that anyone who's left on Sunday afternoon could travel over to the store and hang out there for the rest of Sunday. Where? So the hotel is called Renaissance Woodbridge. It is part of the Marriott family. Marriott hotels have like more than just Marriott names. So this is a Renaissance Woodbridge. Now, where is this all located? Well, the Renaissance Woodbridge Hotel is not technically in Woodbridge if you look at their mailing address. Needleworker's Delight has a mailing address in Metuchen, but I think technically they're in another town. So let's just call this Central New Jersey, and we'll be good about that. I'm going to put links to all the hotel, the store, everything, so you can Google map it and really get it in a concept that makes sense to you. For me, someone who has always lived on the East Coast, I am aware of East Coast travel. And one thought that I had is how much appeal this might be for those of us living on the East Coast. It's in no way limited to those living on the East Coast, but Central New Jersey is doable from the north coming down or the south coming up from a driving distance perspective. Now, if you want to get the sense of just how close this is, I have, and I want to show you something amusing here. So in purple right here, Renaissance Woodbridge Hotel. And in yellow right here is Needleworker's Delight. And that represents, like I said, it's about 3/4 of a mile. Now, I'm a walker. I walk places whenever I can. And to me, that's a walking distance. That said, it's not exactly a safe walking distance as you're walking along what's called Route 1. And you're going right by the entrance and the exit of the Garden State Parkway, which has some craziness going on there. But let's just say stitchers do crazy things when something is standing between them and a local needlework store, right? I have to believe if we make this happen, there will be enough people with cars that driving back and forth to Needleworker's Delight and getting there back and forth would be very doable. I will also be scouting out the area to see if there's a walking way to get there that does not involve the dangerous getting on and off the Garden State Parkway things. But there's another little piece I just have to share with all of you. The day I went to scout out this hotel, I was at Needleworker's Delight. I come from the south. I come from up this way. And when I'm going home, I turn around and in effect go right, go down south. Okay, I have never, in effect, turned left and go north. So there I am, turning left, going north for the first time ever for this little 3/4 of a mile up the road. And I look over and I see something, and it's like, this is meant to be. So I've just zoomed in. Can you see what's right next to the Renaissance Woodbridge Hotel? There is a Hobby Lobby, people. And, for those that are interested, Joe Cannell's Discount Liquor Outlet. I think that's pretty perfect. That's kind of meant to be. Given how much Hobby Lobby is talked, I had no idea there was a Hobby Lobby there. Given how much Hobby Lobby is talked about on Flosstube, you could serve a lot of needs by going right there. Needleworker's Delight does not carry any DMC products. They are Zweigart wholesalers, Zweigart USA, and so I think that's their, they don't do ZMC because of that. But hey, you need a little DMC floss, you got Hobby Lobby. You want your Weeks Dye Works and your Gentle Arts and all that stuff, and the fabric and the patterns and everything, it's all going to be right there for you. Okay, so that's the hotel that I've picked out because of its location. In terms of travel, so like I said, driving distance, so that's what I think there could be a great appeal about doing a Flosstube Retreat on East Coast, that I think there would be I don't know how many people talk about, and I know a few people who are on the East Coast that in contact with, but certainly it's a driving distance for anyone who is familiar with New Jersey, because they've driven through the state of New Jersey. You know about the two main things that go through New Jersey, the Garden State Parkway and the New Jersey Turnpike. And basically, to make it very simple, where this area is right where the Garden State Parkway and the New Jersey Turnpike kind of cross each other. And the quick and easy answer is, it's about it is exit 130 from the Garden State Parkway. It's exit 11 on the New Jersey Turnpike. So for some people, boom, that gives them an answer about where this is. For those that might be coming from a little distance, and I hope there's going to be a bunch of you, the other thing that I think makes this location pretty perfect is how close it is to the airport. So Newark Airport is about 14 miles away. I say about because it kind of depends on what time of day you come in and what the traffic conditions are. You could say, I think it's easy enough to say it's going to be about a half hour, unless you're coming in during like rush hour time, and then it could be 45 minutes or longer. When I was looking at some Google mapping to get this, one distance that was 20 miles took shorter than the 14-mile distance. So just acknowledge it's about a half hour from Newark Airport. The other perfect thing about this location, the hotel is 2.5 miles away from a train station. And that train station is Metropark. Metropark is a commuter rail station from New York City. So if you're going to come out from the city, it comes from Penn Station. But it is also an Amtrak stop. So on the East Coast, if you are an Amtrak person coming up from Washington, D.C., coming from the Philadelphia area, coming down from Boston, literally come from Boston, get yourself on a train, get off 2.5 miles from this hotel. The hotel's website says they do a shuttle from the train station. And again, I can also see with enough of us with cars that might be there, it would be easy to help each other get there. So I think the location of travel has great potential here. Everyone. Who? So I've got my list. What, when, where, I'm up to who. Who? Anyone. I'm hoping this is appealing to a lot of you right now. And again, not limited to East Coast people. It's just something that I think has great appeal. But I will also say this. McKenna is one of the people that I've been sharing a little bit about this, and she has told me she is already committed. So if you are thinking about coming from a distance, you are more than welcome to do that. We will seem to already have our sequins and shenanigans planned out for us because we know what kind of fun she'll bring to the events. I'm also going to put this one out there. Newark Airport, it's an international airport. you're on the East Coast of the United States. If anyone wants to hop across the pond, any of our friends from Europe or England, now I'm going to say, I know how ridiculous that is for a weekend trip, but if you've been considering the idea of coming to the US and you want to maybe think about making this weekend either the beginning or the end of a trip, how awesome would that be? And again, because of the location that you'll be at, either then going back to Newark Airport or using that Amtrak station, you can get to other places. Again, being on the East Coast, the major cities of Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. would be so easy. I would love to help play travel planner. If anyone wanted to do that, you know there's a bunch of U.S. Flosstubers that would love to meet some of our international friends. So I'm just putting that out there. How much? So here we go. For this to happen, I need to have 50 people to commit to it. And this is about the room size and what the hotel needs for us to take the room for a weekend, what is involved. For 50 people to commit, and that would be $100 per person. For that $100, we'd have the use of the room. We would also have 2 breakfasts. To have the room, we need to commit at least some food purchase, and the easiest food purchase that is well used is to have breakfast. And we could talk about the details and timing and all of that. So 50 people at $100. If there's an interest of 60 people, the cost potentially could go down to $90 or maybe even $85. So there's a little element of trying to gauge the interest at this point before the final cost is set. So figure it will be $100 maximum if we can get 50 people, and maybe as low as $85. Is there an upper limit? What if more than 60 people are interested? I don't know. I'm dreaming big here, people. I don't know right now what the upper limit is. There's a larger room, and I would want to go scope it out and see what feels comfortable before I put a number on how many people feels comfortable in that larger room. Let's just stick with trying to make sure we can get our minimum, and we'll go from there. How are we going from there? So here's what I've done. I've set up a Facebook group. It is called Flosstube Retreat, New Jersey. The next step, if you are interested, please go join that Facebook group. It's where I want to gather the information of, number one, can we make this happen? And to make it happen, I need minimum of 50 people to say, yes, I'm willing to do it. And of those 2 dates that I've proposed, the March weekend or the May weekend, which or both would you be able to do? Once I'm at the point where I feel comfortable that, yes, there's definite interest, yes, we're doing it, then I'll proceed to a opening of the registration in some format of taking in money and going from there. And all of that, I'm just going to work through the Facebook group to do that. I'm aware there are people who are not on Facebook. I get that. If you are definitely interested and you're not on Facebook, please email me, my handy dandy sign, worksbyabc@gmail.com. Let me know you're interested. Let me know which of those 2 dates or both of those 2 dates, whether you're a definite, and I will keep track. I'll create an email list or something of the people who are not on Facebook so that they are kept in the loop as we go forward with the planning of this. You will see on the Facebook group there is a pinned post at the top. That's where I'm looking for the definite information, whether you're committed to doing this, which are the dates. Oh, and also, the Renaissance Woodbridge, as I said, is a Marriott hotel. I know there's some people that are really into their Marriott points and might want to use that, which is fine. We also, to make this happen, would need to have a commitment of rooms that we're going to use. Should have said that. The room block rate is $119, which does seem to be cheaper than the prices that I could, find just by general searching, which is great. $119 per night, with, of course, the assorted taxes that get added onto that. I would need to know that we're going to be able to fulfill the commitment of the rooms. So the pinned post at the top of the Facebook group asks you to reply to that post saying which dates, if both dates, what would you be willing to say, yeah, I want to do it, or yes to this date, but only a maybe on that date, or no, I know I can't do that date, but yes to this date. Please give me that data, as well as room. Yes, I know I want to get a room at the hotel, and count me as a half room because I'm going to be looking for a roommate. Or I know I'm coming with a friend and I know I'm going to be a half a room. Or put me down as my own room, or whatever. I'm using that pinned post to gather my data to find out if we can make this happen. And I'll take it from there. Feel free to, below that, chatter away, ask any general questions, and I'll respond to that. Because I'm excited to make this happen. There's so many of you that I would love to meet in person. And so I'm kind of doing the selfish thing and creating my own retreat so I can get you to come here. No, but truly though, I think about that there is a way that I am in a place that, at least for this side of the country, might be a good place for many of us to gather. I think about all you Georgia people, and those of you who are not in Georgia but awfully close to Georgia, and gather with all you Georgia people. I have a sister that lived in Atlanta for many years. I know how quick and easy that flight from Atlanta to Newark Airport is. I go up and visit friends in the New England area. I know how easy taking a train down, especially. I'm not a fan of the drive, but whatever, taking a train down can be. I would love to meet so many of you. I would love for all of us to have something to look forward to in the spring. So I'm looking forward to hearing from many of you. Again, if you're interested, go to the Facebook group. All of this information I'm going to put in the box below with links. Please get on board or send me an email if you're not on Facebook. And I'm looking forward to hearing from lots of you. Thanks so much. Bye. Okay, so you know what happens when you forget to look at your notes at the end? You have to come back and do another little snippet. I had this little note, don't forget, at the end. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Thank you very much for everyone from my last video who purchased patterns from me. I so appreciate that. I just wanted to note that I still have about 60-something patterns available. The last video I have put in the box below, that box below, a list of what number patterns are still available. So if you didn't watch that video before, or you did and you were hesitating or whatever, if you just want to go and either zoom through it quickly, or you're kind of curious, you can see exactly what patterns I have available. Email me. I'm happy to keep selling them that way. I'm going to leave that video up for a while because I just don't want to deal with it this time, figuring out other selling ways. I'm more interested in working on a Flosstube Retreat. So again, please feel free to go back. It's video 15.5 for that. And then my second little bit of housekeeping. So again, this is my second non-typical Flosstube video. So if you're missing me from typical needlework talk, just to share with you that I'm going to be on Fiber Talk again this coming Sunday is when it's scheduled. So if you have been listening to Fiber Talk, you already know this, but if you haven't already, it's a great show. I have learned so much listening to them and talking with Gary and Christine. They are just wonderful people. So I was thrilled and honored that they wanted to talk to me again. We had a great conversation. You can hear that. As I said, I believe it's scheduled for this coming Sunday. You can go to their website or any podcast service, or as they have been doing, they put it up on YouTube through their Flosstube channel called Fiber Talk. So you could listen to me on Sunday if you want. Thank you again, and I'm looking forward to hearing from lots of you. Good night. Bye-bye.